everybody, and welcome to my player rating show for Manchester United against Fenerbahce. I'm also going to give some comments on the game as well. It's just like a wee short podcast that I'm going to do. So Andre Anana, amazing double save. So he gets a 7.5 out of 10. I don't think United would have got the point without him. Diogo Dallo, very poor for the Fenerbahce goal. Didn't prevent the cross coming in. And then at the other end of the pitch, all he had to do was play the ball across for Hoyland to tap in. He instead played backwards to Rashford, and he totally missed the cross up. So that was really poor both ends from Dallo. So he only gets a 4. De Ligt didn't do anything wrong on the day. I thought he defended well and wasn't to blame for the goal. So I'll give him a 6. Lindelof game easily beaten in the air. How many times have we saw that as United fans? Lindelof just so weak, so passive, and shouldn't really be at the club anymore. And he gets a 4 out of 10 for his performance. Martinez played a position at left back, but done reasonably well. Not able to offer overlapping runs, which we are accustomed to with Luke Shaw. But his passing range is excellent. His reading of the game is really good. So did well for a man playing out of position. And so you would give him a 6. Ugarte, he really needed this performance. He was playing against his predecessors in Fred and Amrabat, and he had 2 really good moments. Of course, taking the ball off Fred, and that led to Eriksen's goal. And then the unbelievable block in the 6-yard box to deny Dusan Tadic. If you freeze frame the video when the ball is arriving at Tadic's feet, it's hard to believe that he doesn't actually score. Yeah, it was like a John Terry-esque block from Ugarte there. People won't thank me for mentioning John Terry, even though he's a United legend. We wouldn't have won the Champions League in 2008 without him. But yeah, Ugarte has finally had a really good performance, and he did so against former United number 6s in Fred and Amrabat. So yeah, 7.5 for Ugarte. Eriksen, there's just no substitute for class. Another fantastic goal from the edge of the box. Keeper, absolutely no chance. And Eriksen now has 4 goals and 3 assists this season. Amazingly, none of those have come in the Premier League. But he is playing. He's had a bit of an Indian summer in his career at the moment at 32 years old. Didn't really see him being an integral part of the team this season, but he is. He's almost the first name in the team sheet now. So 7 out of 10 for Eriksen. Mizrahi bizarrely selected number 10 by Eric Ten Hag, and I don't think that experiment really worked. He did have some good moments. I think he was involved in the goal. He played the ball to Xerxes, who then led it off to Eriksen. But Ten Hag decided to ditch the experiment after 55 minutes when Fenerbahce scored. This is what Mourinho had to say about it. The situation with Mizrahi maybe for you a big surprise, but for us maybe not. Amrabat told me that Mizrahi can play in this position. He did a lot for Ten Hag at Ajax. He is not Bruno, but he has the legs to press the centre backs. Yeah. So as Mourinho also alluded to, I think Mizrahi was there to press the centre backs. Xerxes would come deep, and I think Ten Hag's hope was that the Fenerbahce centre backs would follow him out and leave space in behind for Garnacho and Rashford. So even Mourinho, just like Arnie Slot, was able to break down Ten Hag's tactics. It's not great that he's that predictable, really, even when he's doing something different. So Mizrahi would get a 5 from me. Marcus Rashford a 6. He created a chance for himself when he done that chop, taking the fullback out of the game on the left side of centre back, and he had a left-footed shot that just whistled past the post. Some might say he should have scored, and others might say he was a bit unlucky. But yeah, Rashford definitely looks lively now. He looks hungry. He looks motivated, and I'm reasonably confident now that he's going to have a decent season at United. So 6 out of 10 for Rashford. Xerxes very poor, and I know statistically he's going to get an assist, but it was a very simple ball to play to Eriksen. but he had two great chances to play Rashford in, and he overcooked both passes. And I just think if he's not scoring goals and he's not creating, what is even the point? So very, very disappointing for Xerxes again, who was then hooked after about 55 minutes. Uh, on Garnacho, always lively, always a threat, uh, and was involved in the goal himself. Running at the fullback with pace, and the whole defence were just backing off him really. Um, but one criticism of him is that he shoots too much. He had a speculative effort from about 25 yards when there was four United men in space ahead of him, and I just think that was the wrong decision. But I think decision making will come with maturity. We have to remember he's only 20 years old, but what a talent he is. So 6 out of 10. So Casemiro and Hoyland come on to replace Xerxes and Lindelof, I think it was, and Mazrahi moved back to the back four. So immediately you could see that Casemiro's passing range is just much better than Xerxes, which doesn't say much for an attacking player. So Casemiro will get a 6 for his second half performance, and Hoyland will get a 6 as well. He beat a defender, created a chance on his right foot, but he kind of scuffed it. Really, scored that really good goal at the weekend, but he really needs a run of games now. But I understand why he's not playing 90 minutes currently, because he's had muscular injuries, and the manager doesn't want that to happen again. So he's taking it easy with him. So we might not see him playing 90 minutes for another few weeks. But I have real great faith that Hoyland is going to become a really good striker for United. So 6 out of 10 for him as well. Anthony and Ahmad weren't on very long. I didn't agree with Anthony coming on for Rashford. Either I would have kept Rashford on, who was doing well, or I would have brought Ahmad Diallo on, who's a much better player, Anthony, in my opinion. And in the end, Anthony got injured and he had to bring Ahmad on after 89 minutes. So neither of them were on very long, so you couldn't really give them a rating. I have to say, if Johnny Evans was playing, who obviously wasn't risked tonight because I think he had a bit of a knock, and you don't want to take risks with 36-year-olds in that position, and he didn't travel. So, but if he had been playing at left centre back instead of Lindelof, we might not have conceded that goal. We might have came away with the 3 points which he badly needed. So that's three draws in a row in the Europa League, and leaves us 21st in that table, in that league table in the Europa League, and with 12th in the Premier League. It's just mediocrity, isn't it? And I don't know how much longer Ineos are going to leave this, because it's very, very poor, and we cannot play like this until May. If we're just going to continue in this mediocre form, getting nowhere, just languishing in mid-table and barely qualifying for the Europa League knockout stages, I think Ineos have to act. They're coming in for more and more criticism as the weeks go by, and I can understand that. There's a lot of frustration among the fan base that Ten Hag is still here. But in terms of the Europa League going forward, it is going to get a bit easier. I think we've got the most difficult games out of the way now, and we really need to be winning the rest of the games and get an automatic spot in the knockout stages. We've got POAK of Greece at home next, and after that we've got Bodo Glimt of Norway at home. And even just looking at, there's a team called Victoria away from home, which we should be winning. We've got Rangers at home, I think in January, should be winning that. So the rest of the Europa League fixtures are fairly winnable, and we should be picking up maximum points there, and getting through directly to the knockout stages. So Ten Hag made some bizarre team selections. Mizrahi at number 10 was definitely the standout there, and playing Xerxes instead of Hoyland from the start, which I didn't agree with. And we only got a draw, so I give Ten Hag a 5 out of 10. Mourinho obviously stole the show with his pre-match press conference, his performativeness during the game, and ultimately ending in a red card. Uh, and his quotes after the game were quite amusing as well. Um, it was not a penalty. Mourinho did a lot of protesting on the sideline. The He entered the United technical area. The fourth official, pointed this out to the referee, who immediately brandished the red card. But for me, Ugarte didn't even touch him. He went down very, very easily there. And Mourinho, when he watches that back, might be embarrassed that he was shouting for the penalty so loudly. Um, so we're going into a weekend game against West Ham, and even looking at the bookies odds, they don't really know really what to expect. The bookies, um, so we need to get 3 points on the board there as well and start to move up that table. But I'm not sure we'll get it. West Ham have been horrendous this season, worse than us. Not going well under the new manager. You know what? Um, the losing manager in this game could end up being sacked, especially if it's Lopetegui. But yeah, United really need to get 3 points and start getting back-to-back wins in the Premier League and moving up that table, because 12th for Manchester United is just absolutely humiliating. So that's my player ratings and my comments on the game, guys. So I'll hopefully do more of a longer podcast with Brush on Sunday or Monday. So I will see you again soon, guys. Please smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and get more of your thoughts in, and I will reply to as many of those as possible.